With the first beta of Battlefield 6 ending, I wanted to talk about some issues or some things that I would like to see changed or even honestly completely removed. Some of these things have already been somewhat addressed and mentioned that they will be changed, even if not in the second beta but on release, which is good, but I still think it's worth mentioning. And starting off, we'll go over the incendiary grenade or the thermobaric grenade launcher. That thing should not exist. Not only does it do initial blast damage, but then it does damage over time that can kill you. And on top of that, it forces you to slow walk, so you can't move faster than that. And on top of all of this, it also NADSs you. And it's not like it's hard to use either. It's like the easiest thing to use. Even at range, it's just so easy to aim. So I hope we see its removal, because honestly, something like this should just not exist in this game. And in any game, for that matter. And I'm surprised it made it in to begin with, to be honest. To add to that, the assault's flashbangs also have the same effects, minus the damage part. I understand a flashbang flashing you, but slowing you down and NADSing you, that should not be a thing. The second thing I want to talk about is flinch and screen blur. When someone shoots at you, not only is there a bit of flinch, but also your screen becomes blurry, which plays more into this game's visibility issues, where it's already hard to spot people sometimes or tell what you're looking at. And here's one example to show you what I'm talking about exactly. So I'm hoping this also gets removed. Next thing I want to talk about is the sniper sweet spot mechanic. This is something that is already mentioned by a lot of people, and it is a skillless mechanic that isn't even pulled off on purpose. I don't think the sniper sweet spot mechanic should exist. The existence of it inflates the number of players using a sniper rifle, which in return affects the flow of the game. The fatal headshot mechanic is already a thing, and I don't have any issues with that. It actually rewards going for headshots, which is what you want to go for already. So I'm hoping the sweet spot mechanic does not make it into the full game. Next thing I would like to be changed is the reload animation resetting. There are so many actions in this game that cancels your reload just for it to start all over again. I've been caught so many times thinking my reload is done, just for it to start all over again, just because I vaulted over something, placing a gadget, or using something other than my gun. I would like to see the implementation of reload progress saving. Next thing is the lack of a server browser. It's already somewhat confirmed that the game won't have a server browser on its release, which is pretty unfortunate. But this shouldn't be much of an issue if we can choose what region/server location we want to play on. If you wanted to play with a friend from a different region, you just can't choose a common server location, and one of you will be forced to play on the other's server. And what makes this issue worse is the fact that I have never seen a game handle high ping this badly. If you had high ping in this beta, the game becomes completely unplayable. Bullets not registering, dying around the wall after like 6 seconds of being behind it, and here are some examples to show of that. What? What? Yo, no.
You know, I guess not.
What? Oh, hello? Next issue I want to talk about is the time to kill and the time to die. I've seen some complaints about the time to kill, but honestly, I think it's in a good place right now. I don't think it should be changed for now, but when it comes to the time to die, this should for sure be addressed. There was an issue in the Battlefield 5 beta as well, where the time to kill was in a good spot, but somehow you just die in a single frame, which does get frustrating. Next, I want to talk about the UI. While I personally don't find any issues with the in-game UI, I think the menus UI is pretty bad. It looks like I'm browsing a streaming platform, which just does not fit how game menus would be browsed. The settings menu is also pretty cluttered with repeated settings all over the place and options inside of other options. And while I'm a big settings nerd, navigating the settings menu in this game just sucked. And on this topic, I genuinely don't understand what happened to modern game UI, especially when it comes to shooters. It's always somehow a step down, while the older games in the franchise were simple with almost no issues at all. And another issue related to the UI is the mouse and the command wheel being misaligned when using different resolutions. I don't have any footage to show of this, but if you play on a stretched resolution, for example, the command wheel will be a bit scuffed to navigate. And also, as you can see in the top right corner, the performance metric overlay is in the same place as the kill feed, which should also be changed. Next is the Nade Indicator. I don't have much to say about it. I just think the red dot somewhere on your screen doesn't look good, but also the fact that you can't throw nades back or even shoot them, which is a step down from mechanics existed in Battlefield 5. Next thing I want to mention is the mantling and how high you can mantle something. It's almost like your character in this game has no limbs. You can barely mantle anything. I wish they would increase the mantling height, but also introduce the high mantle mechanic Battlefield 5 had. Honestly, Battlefield 5 was goated and did so many things right. I wish they built on it instead of letting it go because of the initial hate it received. I want to quickly touch on some animation aspects, specifically running and Reticle Wobble. When it comes to the running animation, I just don't think the build up in it looks good. It just makes it seem like the player model is sluggish, and I would like to see the transition into a full sprint animation from the get-go instead of giving the illusion of acceleration. And when it comes to Reticle Wobble, I'm all for jumping penalties, sure. But I think the way the Reticle wobbles should be changed to be more in line with how it was in older Battlefield games, but it was predictable instead of just being all over the place. But also, the fact that the wobble happens even if you walk off the smallest rock, which should not be happening. And related to aiming down sights and reticles is the depth of field effect and not being able to turn it off. Please add an option for that. Lastly, to speedrun the last couple of things, there are some bushes and random small terrain that is bulletproof and you can't throw nades through for some reason. Assault having double primary is questionable, especially depending on what weapons the class has access to, but also being able to carry 2 nade launchers instead. Engineer being able to carry 2 launchers is a bit much and should be changed. And lastly, I wish class models were more distinct like older Battlefield games so that you can tell which soldier is what class, but it also adds more depth into the battlefield. There are definitely more things I didn't go over, but the things I listed are the things I noticed the most. DICE, please fix.